Okay, welcome back. Now this shouldn't be as bad as what we went through. There's only 5 more questions I'm going to go over. And let's just finish up 15 and 16 and then go back to problems 1, 2, and 3. And that will be it. Okay, so what do we got here? The following graph describes the relationship between the depreciation of a machine D in dollars and the time in years. So you buy something for a lot of money and then after a while, like all things, as time goes on, it becomes worthless. Find the slope of the line. Okay. Amongst all that information, all we care about is these 2 points. See, I'm going to copy that point there, and then 25, 0. Okay. Find the slope. I'll give you the slope. M equals y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. 0.1, 0.2. Well, this slope better be negative because it's going down. So let's see if it comes negative at the very least. Y2 is 0 minus y1, which is 625, divided by x2, which is 25, minus 0. So that's going to be negative 625 up top, divided by 25. And that's going to be equal to 25, negative 25. Negative 25. 625 divided by 25 is negative 25. Negative 25, hit enter. Fantastic. The equation. They want the equation. Okay. They want the equation. It's y equals mx plus b. But in this case, they're not using... They want you to get used to stop always using x's and y's. In this case, the y always represents the vertical. In this case, the vertical axis is labeled d. So d is equal to, substitute in negative 25 for the m. X is the time, plus, I can tell you what that number is by looking right here. This line crosses the vertical axis at 625, so that number is 625. Okay, I'm going to say that that's it. Now, don't put in d equals. They already gave us a d equals there, so just put in the negative 25. T plus 625. Hit enter. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Oh. It takes how long? How long does it take for this machine to depreciate to 125 bucks? What they want you to do is basically, it's actually too hard to read here. What they want you to do is plug in 125 for the value here and negative 25t, solve for t in this equation. That'll tell you the number of years it takes for this thing to go down to this value. So I believe, okay, I'm going to subtract 625 from both sides. And that'll give me negative 500 equals negative 25t. And t will therefore be, when I divide both sides by negative 25, divide by negative 25, I get the value of 20. 20 years. It takes 20 years for that to go down. Now, I hope they're not going to sneak in another question there. Nope. Good. No. What is the equation of line? Okay. Okay. Don't save that. All right. New. Okay. Bring this down. Now they're being a nuisance. To put these 2 points down here. Negative 8, 4, negative 4. And this is negative 4, 8. 0.1, 0.2. What you should get out of this entire ordeal is you've got to calculate the slope. So y2 minus y1, 8 minus a negative 1/4. Be careful, you're subtracting a negative number. X2 is negative 4 minus a negative 8. You're subtracting a negative 8. Okay, so what's that equal to? 8 double negative 4, 8 plus 4 is 12, divided by negative 4 plus 8 is 4. Plus 8 minus 4 is 4, and that gives me a slope of 3. Now what you're going to do is in your standard equation, y equals mx plus b, m is 3, so you might as well put in 3x plus b. Now, what do you want to do next? Pick a point. Plug in a point. It doesn't matter which one you plug in. I'm going to pick this guy. Okay, because I see some positivity there. That's the only reason. When I stick in negative 4 in here, to generate the 8, it'll require a certain b to do that. So that's negative 12. That's negative 12. Then I'm going to add to both sides to cancel it here. B equals 20 when I add it to both sides. So this is going to be y equals 3x plus 20. Enter. Good. Let's do the first 3 and we'll be done with this. Otherwise, oh, those were right. Don't worry about that. A linear equation. Oh, you can't get this one wrong. You've got three ways to get this. Okay, but we'll get it the first way. A linear equation is in blank form if it's written slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form. Final check. Yes, fantastic. Thank you. For an equation that's written in slope-intercept form, 0, comma b, that point represents the y-intercept. The y-intercept. It crosses the y-axis at x is 0. Final check. Okay. And just when you think you're done, they hit you with this mess. They hit you with this mess where it's a problem with 1,000 parts. Don't you love it? Okay. Let's see what this is. Don't save. File. New. Okay. Hey, there's worse things in life. All right. Hey, let's do this. I don't think it's all that bad. All they want you to do is say, well, if y equals 5x minus 2, what do you think the slope is? The slope is the number in front of the x if it's in that standard form. Oh, put it in here. 5. Y-intercept. 0, comma, negative 2. 0, comma, negative 2. Which best represents the type of line this is? Okay, so this is supposed to be a vertical line, a positive slope, horizontal line, negative slope. This is a positive number. It's got to be this. That's a positive slope. Now the x-intercept you actually have to calculate. Okay, of course, you have to calculate it. Okay, and just see what it is. Here's the x-intercept of a line right there. It crosses the x-axis. What does it mean when it crosses the x-axis? It means that y equals 0 when it crosses the x-axis. So stick in x, y is 0, 5x minus 2. Okay, add 2 to both sides, and then divide by 5. The x-intercept is 2/5. 2/5. But it's 2/5. An intercept is a point. It's implied that y is 0. That's what you have to put down. Find something. I hope it's right. 2/5. 2/5. I think that's the answer. Check your answer. Nice. Got it right. Yay. Okay. What's this look like? Slope, -7. Y-intercept, 0, 0. There is no number there. It's implied 0. Okay? This is a negative slope. Okay? And the x-intercept is when y is 0. Solve for, if y is 0, solve for x. Well, if I divide both sides by -7, x is 0. Okay, so 0, 0. Okay, it's going to cross the x-axis at 0, and it's implied that the y-axis is 0 when it crosses the x-axis. Check your answer. Great job. I wish that was it, but of course not. The slope is 0.6. The y-intercept is 0, 1.8. This is a positive slope, and I got to do this. I gotta say y is 0, plug in y is 0. Okay, so we know that the point has to have a y is 0, because we made y equal 0. To calculate the necessary x, you got 0.6 x plus 1.8. Subtract 1.8 to both sides. You get this, 0.6x. And then divide by 0.6, and that should be a -3. -3 crosses the x-axis at -3. Come on, -3, Check your answer. Fantastic. You know what? This is, let's just do it. Let's just do it. Okay, I was going to say you do it. But no, I'm shirking my responsibilities if I do, you do it. Let's just do it. Slope, 1/2. Y-intercept, 0, -4/5. This is a positive. They moved it around on me. Look at those weirdos. They moved it around on me. It's a positive slope. And now this guy is, well, I have to do this. 0 equals 1/2 x minus 4/5. And it's probably best that I do this. Add 4/5 to both sides. Okay. Now divide both sides by 1/2. If I divide this by 1/2, I divide this by 1/2, the 1/2s cancel, equals x. Now this looks kind of strange until you do it this way. 4/5 divided by 1/2. That looks better. You're dividing by a fraction. Do you remember how you divide fractions? You multiply by the reciprocal. 2/1. So x is 8/5, which I cannot simplify. That's x. So x is 8/5 with an implied y0. 8/5 with an implied y0. Okay, now really, are you kidding me right now? This just goes 3 more. All right, slope is, I don't know what the slope is. I don't know what the slope is. I do know what the slope is if I solve for y. I do know then. So let's go ahead and do that. Don't save. File, new, okay. So I'm going to take this equation, 14x plus 7y equals 28. I want to solve for y. That's all. That's all I want to do is solve for y. Subtract 14x from both sides. 7y equals -14x plus 28. Okay? Now divide by 7. Divide by 7. Both sides. Y equals. Now what you're going to do is take this fraction. Okay? -14x divided by 7 is -2x. 7 goes into 14 twice. And then you're going to say plus, and then that 7 distributes here. 28 over 7 is 4. So what do we do now? The slope is -2. The y-intercept is 0, 4. 0, 4. This is a negative slope. And now for the y-intercept, we have to, what's going to happen is you're going to substitute 0 here. -2x plus 4. Now, why do we substitute 0 for y? Because a line crosses the x-axis when y is 0. So we set it to 0. And you're going to go ahead and you're going to calculate this to be 2. Okay, when you subtract 4 and divide by -2, you're going to get 2 for the answer. So I get 2, 0, 2, 0. Check your answer. Excellent. Now, this is not fair. This should have been counted for 3 problems. Okay, what's the slope? Okay, y equals is a horizontal line. Y equals a number is a horizontal line. That basically still follows this format. mx plus 2, or actually minus 2. Edit, undo. Edit, undo drawing. Okay, y equals mx plus b. If m is 0, no slope, so y equals b. There you go. So the slope is basically 0. 0, 0, 0. The y-intercept is going to be 0, -2. Okay, it's a horizontal line that goes through the y-axis at point -2. This is a horizontal line, and there is none. Okay, there is none. Okay, because if you were to draw this is y equals -2 down here someplace. Okay, this line is horizontal. It never hits the x-axis. Okay, so is that right? Nice. And then the next one's an x equals. Okay. The slope is undefined. Whenever you have basically an x equals is a vertical line. A vertical line has no slope. It's undefined. And so, what's the y-intercept? None. Okay, because if I give you a vertical line, here, I'll give you the vertical line right over here. Here's the axes. Not very good, but those are the axes. X equals -8 is a vertical line that looks like this. X equals -8. It never hits that y-axis. So if it never hits the y-axis, it can't intersect with it, so it's done. This is a vertical axis. And the x-intercept, well, it crosses the x-axis at -8. Okay, so -8, 0. Check your axis, and that's it. That was a nuisance problem. I'm sorry for that, but I inherited this course, and I have no way to change it. But that was more of a nuisance. That should have been split up into 3 separate problems. But enough. We're done with section 3.4. We only got one more section in chapter 3, which is 3.5, and I'll see you then. Bye.